It goes without saying that technology plays a pivotal role in our lives. Even if you don't consider yourself tech-savvy, it's more than likely that you'll find it hard to imagine life without a cell phone or access to the internet. We already live in a world where it's possible to create 3D objects with a printer, where we are constantly tracked and monitored. Self-drive cars and artificial intelligence are a reality, and experts promise the imminent arrival of the Internet of Things that will control our homes and lives. But hand in hand with this increasing reliance on technology and electricity is a corresponding risk that we will find ourselves completely unable to function as a society without it. The specter of a lack of electricity and cyber terrorism already loom large. And on a more practical level, our dependence on technology is already having serious consequences on our abilities and skill sets. What would happen if you found yourself without a phone, without power, without a GPS signal, alone and lost in the wilderness? How many of us would be able to cope? How many of us even have the basic skills to survive? Jason Ingemels is an expert in wilderness survival skills, and drawing on a wealth of personal experience, he teaches these skills to others and can offer life-saving advice.
So my name's Jason Ingemels, and I'm the Director for Woodland Ways Bushcraft and Survival. And what we do is we take groups out to various locations throughout the UK and overseas, and we practice bushcraft and survival skills and wilderness living skills. Survival skills for me is about trying to get yourself out of a situation that you've not necessarily chosen to find yourself in. And that is overcoming those 4 principles of survival: fire, food, shelter and water. I teach on the rules of 3. Okay, and those are 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Now, I'm going to presume that everybody has the ability to be able to breathe, so my pure focus is on shelter immediately. We need to regulate how our body gains and loses body heat, so we need to maintain our core temperature, and clothing is an extension of that, but also the ability to get yourself into an area which is waterproof and windproof. Shelter is always the highest priority. Now, 3 weeks without food may sound like a very, very long time, and indeed it is. And again, not suggesting that you should leave it for 3 weeks and then go out and acquire food, but it's certainly a lower priority for you. If you're ingesting food, your body needs water to ingest it. So if water is of a concern, you've got limited supplies, you're better off not eating. And so we build on that skill set. We get people learning how to create fire from natural materials, how to construct shelters that will be completely waterproof and windproof, again, out of natural materials, how to get their water and make that water safe to drink, and also how to acquire their own food, whether that's from animal or plant.
The Woodlands Way Weekend is one of Jason's most popular courses, and just 2 days in the woods can prove life-changing.
So I cater for a large range of different age groups, everything from 8 years old up to 80 years old. A family course is going to be very different from an adults-only weekend course. However, the vast majority of the customers are coming out of the city. They're young professionals, 30, 40-year-olds, who maybe want to decomplicate their lives just a little bit. We live in a society now where we have complete reliance on other people, and the skills that we teach are more about self-reliance. We can't come out here and flick a switch and have light and turn a dial and have heat. You've got to provide it for yourself, and I think that connection with being responsible for your own safety and your own welfare really connects with people that have been removed from it for so long. People don't use knives on a daily basis now as a tool. People don't prepare their own food. There's a reliance on other people to do things for us. And so therefore, what I'm doing is I'm almost rebuilding their knowledge base of how to look after themselves. So it can be quite shocking sometimes. And I think we can see that technology is having a major input into the lack of those skills now. We can press a button and we've got access to a wealth of questionable information sometimes, but certainly information. And I don't think technology is necessarily a bad thing, but we shouldn't use technology to turn our back on these old skills. At the end of the day, if we lose these skills and then technology fails, where does that leave us? And then we have fire. It's strange because I see people going on a journey as they come through with us. So for the first 24 hours or so, they're in an unusual environment. It's alien to them. And the thing that they miss the most is actually the technology. They miss being in contact with other human beings, their social networks. They're not able to, you know, nip onto Facebook and do an update status. They can't communicate with their normal social network through technology. And so they go through a journey of almost having to release themselves from that. But as the time progresses and they realise that actually the world is around them here, it's not on the screen in front of them, you get a transformation. They relax more and they really tune into the environment. And then 24 hours later, they're completely different. They're noticing things that they would have never noticed before because they would have been looking like that. And then you start to get a connection with the real world that you're in rather than the cyber world, which is on a tablet. So getting back to basics, getting people out there, you can see, I see a transformation. They arrive on the Friday night, they leave on the Sunday, a different person completely.